Biaxial eyesight. Is there the high drive? Deep center. Go, go, go. We're out of here. We're out of here. Say ya, playa.
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! And this is it for good! The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four! A gold pile on their side!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity.
From our entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.
Welcome back to Cinnaminson High School for our second of two games on the day. It's the Camden Catholic Irish and the Seneca Golden Eagles in what is technically an Olympic Conference game here in Cinnaminson. It's part of the Cinnaminson Holiday Classic. Of course, there's Bishop Eustis and Washington Township, and then Princeton Day and Hamilton going on all the way over in the what is called the Old Gym. And we'll see how these two line it up here this afternoon/morning. The game will probably traverse into the afternoon as we go along, but Camden Catholic 4-0 on the season. They've had some great wins this year already, and the Golden Eagles at 2-2. But Camden Catholic under Matt Crawford having a great year. Only one conference game so far, which was Camden Eastside. They won that 55-42 on the 19th of December. They played Rancocas Valley on the 17th. They won by 15. They beat Cinnaminson by 23 and then beat Haddon Heights by 23. Cinnaminson was in the Jimmy V showcase, which is why they didn't play each other in this matchup. And then for Haddon Heights, they won by 23 over them as well. Technically, their first home game is not until January 7th versus Camden. That's going to be an interesting one, you know, with the rivals, the public versus the parochials. Bryce Clark getting the nod as the starting five is introduced for the Camden Catholic Irish. Bryce Clark, a big name to watch. The sophomore guard, small in stature, but great in opportunity and great in talent. 304 points as a freshman. And then, of course, Luke Kenevin, the last man to be introduced. He's at 1,262 points. He has knocked down 104 threes in his career. The senior having quite a career. At the moment, uncommitted, but what a player he is. For the Seneca Golden Eagles, led by Coach Jeff Weiler, your starting five for them, you've got a three-guard lineup of – oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. Yes, a three-guard lineup of Luke Rath, Justin Mercado, and Nate Saverwald, and then two forwards, Cole Keating and Kingston Williams. Weiler in his fifth year as a head coach here, 2-2 on the campaign. Had a very nice win over Washington Township yesterday, 55-49 to get to this point. They lost to Bishop Eustis on opening night by 1 point. They beat Winslow by 14. They lost to out-of-conference Barnegat, 49-48. So for Seneca, this is the thing about Seneca. They're 2-2, but both of their losses have been decided by 1 point. So take with that what you will as we enter this game between Camden Catholic and Seneca. As we said, Camden Catholic undefeated on the young campaign as they've played a Road Warrior schedule here in the early parts of December. The ball is tipped, and we are underway in Cinnaminson for the final game in the new gym of the Cinnaminson Holiday Tournament. Kenevin passes inside. It's up and in. Irish get the first basket of the afternoon by Sean Weld going inside. Weld, a tight end for Camden Catholic football, committed to play FCS football at Villanova in 2025. Also playing on the basketball side as well. We saw Weld in a couple of games for Camden Catholic this year. He's a star athlete, not only on the hardwood but also on the gridiron. Like we said, committed to Villanova for basketball. I'm sorry, for football. As the three from deep goes. And the Irish are on a 5-0 run as Seamus Beeg Gets it, faking a pump from the corner for Seneca. Passing it back out to Justin Mercado. He gets a three, too long. Rebound by Beeg. Kennevan pulls up from the volleyball line, now feeds it into the corner for Beeg. Got it. 8-0 run for Camden Catholic in the first minute and a half of this game. And Seneca already on the edge of their seat here in the early going. Stepping is Keating. Back into the corner, another pump fake guarded by Weld. Goes to the point guard, Rath. Rath back to back to Sauerwald, the sophomore. This one goes to Mercado. Almost attempted a three, now a step back three, too long. We've got a wrestle, we've got a scramble, jump ball. Seneca inbounding, pump fakes many times. Goes back to Rath beyond the volleyball line. Back into the corner. Three gets tipped. Nowhere near the basket. Here comes a huge lob. I don't know how he kept that in. Kennevan, three from Beeg. No good. The net rattles down back to its former position. Here comes Kennevan from three. Downtown. The Irish light it up, and it's an 11-0 run for the Irish. Camden Catholic off to a red-hot start. They've got their four-leaf clovers. There we go. I was supposed to make a good joke there. And Seneca rattles in their first three of the afternoon from the corner. Looks like Mercado was the one who hit that one from the corner. 11-3. Mercado, the junior guard, that one goes out of bounds. He had 229 points as a sophomore. Unfortunately, from last year's stats, Seneca did not keep stats of rebounds, assists, blocks, or steals. As long as you're accurate on who wins and loses and who has the most amount of points, who has the right amount of points, I think it's good, especially considering the state of South Jersey basketball at the moment. I think that we see a lot of problems in football with teams just not reporting any stats. And we've seen some reporters get public about it just because of the fact that, it's hurting your own players if you don't report any stats. At least if you have points, some of these college scouts can get a rather fair assessment of a player's ability before they watch video. Seneca with heavy traffic inside gets brought down for the rebound. That one goes out of play. Irish ball. Bryce Clark pulls up, misses. It's out of bounds. Seneca ball. Seneca's number 5, Elijah Monroe Martin, bringing it up the floor at the point guard position. That ball gets rattled away from Keating. Going back the other way, Clark to Kennevan, contact in the lane, and Kennevan lays it in. A 10-point lead for the Irish here in the first 5 minutes, 13-3. From three, doesn't go. Back out to Kingston Williams. 3-ball. Golick got it. Owen Golick knocks it down with the bright pink shoes from the top of the key. And Seneca has cut the gap to 7. It's 13-6. Feels like you need a touchdown and a PAT here. That ball gets rattled away from Kennevan. Camden Catholic seems to be a little bit sluggish on the turnovers so far. But they've also had a decent amount of traffic in the lane. You know, when they're not attempting the threes, they're just going straight for the basket, which isn't a bad thing at all. But I think what they do have to work on here as you approach the break and approach a timeout is, you know, how do you keep the ball in your hands with Seneca's defense? Because you're up by 7, but you could have been up by more, maybe even a double-digit lead, if you hang on to the ball in some of those possessions. That ball came out, but instead Kingston Williams hangs onto it for the possession. Back to Golick, feeding it out all sorts of places. That 3 is too long. Offensive rebound blocked by the big man Sean Weld, the tight end. And now laying off the right hand. That's good for Aziris Richmond. Another sophomore with a big impact game for the Irish. He reached his 100th career point in his last game versus Cinnaminson yesterday. Versus Haddon Heights. Wide open 3! It falls for Kingston Williams, and Seneca hanging on, 6-point deficit. This was looking awfully similar to the Pittman run in the first quarter last night versus Paulsboro. There goes another 3, rattles out for Kennevan. Rebound by Golick. Oh! Take a walk. That'll be a turnover. Very turnover-heavy first quarter, mostly disadvantaging against Camden Catholic, but a 6-point lead for them, 1:53 left in the first. Kennevan inbounds to the junior, Seamus Big. It goes back to Kennevan. Big had 256 points, 51 boards, 66 assists in his sophomore season with the Irish. The Irish led by head coach Matt Crawford as Kennevan knocks it down. Back to a 9-point lead as he drills it from downtown. 90 seconds left to play in the first. That ball gets stolen away by Kennevan. He's got room, 2-on-1, big contact, and Seneca denies a score. He drives it to the basket all alone, trying to keep that ball in. It hits off of Kennevan's head, and it looks like it's going to be Seneca ball. Yes, it will be Seneca ball. As Brody Phillips, the junior forward, checking in for the Golden Eagles. Shockingly enough, this is Seneca's first appearance on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. They are the 96th high school in the state of New Jersey to get coverage. Like I said, we're actually down to our last 2 schools in the Olympic Conference that we have never covered. Winslow and Morristown are the final 2. I'm sure we could probably get Morristown for some baseball in April and May for the Quakers. And maybe the Eagles can fit in for some Saturday football in 2025. Feeds it out to the forward, Phillips. Into the corner, 3-ball. Off the mark. Rebound by Kennevan. Under a minute in the first. And Kennevan slows it down. Passes to Big. 18-9. 9-point lead for the Irish in the early going. Some of the Cinnaminson players, after leaving the locker room following their 12-point win over Haddon Heights, their 10-point wins, 67-57. They now join the fans. Big Weld taking his time there. I mean, we do have some families that watch from out of state, and they're baffled by the fact that Jersey doesn't have a shot clock. Neither does Delaware, a team that we covered yesterday from Bear, the Caravelle Academy, the Buccaneers. Laid in for Kennevan, and it looks like they'll end the first quarter with a double-digit lead. That pass goes over everybody's head, and it goes out of bounds. 2.3 seconds on the clock as a pass from the Golden Eagles goes awry, and the Irish will reset with a chunk of change left in the first. Got 2 seconds. Big moves in, did not get the buzzer in time, but he got fouled. He got fouled. I think they're going to have one shot either to start to – well, I'm sorry. They're going to have 2 shots. But are they going to call at the end of the quarter and then just start the quarter with it? Okay, they're just going to do 2 untimed shots, almost like a technical, basically. That shot goes for number 1, big. As these teams, Seneca now able to talk it over. Seneca's a little bit lucky there. They actually got a little bit more timeout time. Now Big can join the huddle, and we can go to break. 22-9 as Big hits both untimed free throws at the end of the quarter. We'll be right back. Here in Cinnaminson, home of the 1992 state champions for boys basketball, the Cinnaminson Pirates. Also showed their boys soccer state championship banner from 1991 here in the so-called new gym built in the last 10 years. As Cinnaminson expanded into the formidable Group 2 school that they are today. Seneca held to below double digits in the first quarter. They trailed 22-9. Some late free throws at the end of the quarter. Phillips got hit. Here's a 3 off the mark. Rebound by Weld. Irish working quickly down the floor with Kennevan. Back beyond the volleyball line for Big. And now back to the center for the Irish, Aziris Richmond. I guess you could argue that Weld is more of a power forward and Aziris is more of the center. I mean, in high school basketball, the positions are not laid out as solidly as they are in college and the NBA, where you have a strict point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and a center. Usually, when you look at high school rosters, like what the scorekeepers write down, usually they write 3 guards, 2 forwards. Very rarely, unless a guy has very, very notable size, then they write it down as a center. But I've only seen, maybe in the case of GCIT with Charlie Donaldson, have I seen a team mark a player in their starting lineup as a center. But usually you don't see the denominations of point guard, shooting guard. Normally it's just guard 1, guard 2, guard 3, and 2 forwards. Because usually, especially in high school basketball, a lot of these players are smaller. You know, you have a lot of players under 6 feet. Sometimes if you're 6'1", 6'2", you might even be able to sneak into a forward position. 3 ball, bang, from the corner. Nate Sauerwald did not let the 3 ball go sour there. It's a 12-point deficit. 83 career points for him, the youngster going into this game, and Kennevan drives it in. 26-12, Camden Catholic. It's all Irish here in the first half. Kennevan, 83 points in his senior year. He got 496 in the 23-24 junior campaign, along with 157 rebounds. Wonder where he's going to commit to, because he is a very, very good athlete. Oh, that rolled out on Sauerwald, but now another possession after the steal. It's denied by Aziris Richmond. Double traffic now as Seneca finds a lane. They miss again off the window. Kennevan unable to keep it in. No, he did keep it in, but Matt Crawford called a timeout first. We'll be right back. 5:09 left in the second quarter. The Irish are a-rollin' here on December 28th from Cinnaminson. It's the Irish 26 and the Golden Eagles 12. We'll be right back. Seneca still in their timeout huddle. Coach Weiler breaking from it as Camden Catholic getting ready to inbound the ball. Taking a little while to get them going, but is what it is. Definitely would need a good talk here as Seneca down by 14. Like we said, the score does not look all that promising so far for Seneca, but I again point to the fact that I said in pregame that Seneca is 2-2, but both of their losses were by 1 point. 50-49 to Bishop Eustis and 49-48 to Barnegat, the Bengals. So it's not entirely crazy to say that this game had the prospects of being competitive if you look at it on a base level system. But obviously right now Camden Catholic off to a hot start. They started off with an 8-0 run. That shot did not fall. Weld ripping the rebound away as it goes to a lob and a jam! Aziris Richmond brings the crowd to their feet. Our second dunk of the day. These guys have their energy this morning here in Cinnaminson as Aziris Richmond catches a lob. You know, Colin Conway's right in front of us. I think he got that on video. I hope so. He did. Got a thumbs up. Would have been cool if he was on the floor for it, but didn't want to crouch today, Colin. You got back pain, Colin? Didn't want to go on the floor? Colin Conway is a good friend of ours from RCSJ. This broadcast is brought to you by the Rowan College of South Jersey Athletic Department. Prospective athletes who wish to go to JUCO route in South Jersey with a perennial championship contender in athletics. Not only winners on the hardwood, but winners in the classroom as well. Fill out the prospective athlete form at rcroadrunners.com and follow them on all social media platforms at rcroadrunners. 3:35, Seneca trailing by 20. Bit of contact there is going into the corner now. Feeding it back out to Dylan Wilkins. No relation. At least not that I know of. As here comes a three. Gets good. Justin Mercado cranks one. Back to a 17-point lead for the Irish. Like we said, their largest lead was 20 just a moment ago. Bryce Clark to Big. He's got room. And a three. 35 for Camden Catholic in the first 13 minutes of this one. Here comes another three-ball attempt. Mercado lets it roll over the net. We've got our first foul of the quarter. Into the corner for Big. Moving to Kennevan. Pump fakes. Lob again to Richmond. And it goes. 22-point lead for the Irish over the Golden Eagles. Williams passes it back out to Rath. It gets knocked down, gets batted into the air. It's Clark moving in from the box to the baseline. Now feeds it out on a high floater to Kennevan, and that's too long. Here we go, fed it into the corner. Some contact there. Bit of a hit for Mercado, who was clutching at his chin for a second. Now it's Rath. Pump fakes. Back to number 0, LJ Hagan. Here comes a 3, too long. And a push as the ball is kept in bounds. Here comes another one to Kennevan. From the elbow, passes it into the corner. Bryce Clark, no good on the 3. Bit of a scoring lull here late in the second quarter. Seneca hanging onto it with Rath. Into the corner, 3 ball. Oh, that was very close to a goaltend, which would have been a nice break for Coach Weiler and the Golden Eagles. Their leading scorer so far this year is the senior forward Cole Keating with 38 points this year. Like we said, they are not tracking rebounds or assists or blocks or steals. Their leading scorer last year, they were 8-18 in 2023 to 24, 3-7 in the Olympic Patriot Division. The last time they played Camden Catholic was January of 2022. They started out the season 1-5. Participating in the Butch McLean Memorial Tournament in another game where they played Cinnaminson. Their leading scorer last year was Kingston Williams with 246, and that was as a sophomore. They also had Caleb Roseborough, who had 170. Justin Mercado had 229, and Jacob Humphreys had 180. Aiden Davis, a senior, had 170. 3 ball from last year's leading scorer. Kingston Williams adds to his resume as a youngster. 30 seconds left as Seneca adds on 3 more, 37-18. Clark takes this one himself. Now finding time, feeds it to Weld, contact, no shot, but the third foul on the Golden Eagles in this quarter will send Sean Weld to the line. And sometimes you see plays like that where Clark hangs onto the ball for a second, and you know, I do hear some arguments for the implementation of a shot clock in New Jersey, but I honestly don't think that it would be feasible. Not that I'm against it. I actually think that it would help scoring and it would help these players. It would increase scoring if we had a shot clock. We did a game between Cherry Hill East and Cherokee back in February of last year where the final score was 32-29 in 32 minutes of play. I mean, that's abysmal scoring. Now, at the same time, you know, you can ask yourself, well, how about those smaller schools like Pittman, Audubon, Buna, Pennsville? Those really small schools, they can barely have enough, as that's a second chance shot that goes to end the half. We'll talk about that more after the halftime break. We'll take a 10-minute break. It is all Camden Catholic at the break. 38-20 in favor of the Irish. They lead by 18 at half. From a rainy outside to a nice and warm inside here from Cinnaminson. We'll be right back in just a few moments here on DWB. In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
It will be inbounded by Pat Monahan. Oh, the ball gets away. Who's going to have it? GCIT will hang on to the possession. It goes to Stanwood. Stanwood inside. They'll get the shot off. It's good! Unbelievable! Foster calls the timeout, but will they get it? Unbelievable! Unbelievable! A double contest shot from Hellman! Wow. Ryan James wanted the timeout, but did they get it in time?
Excuse me, Goldberg is a shortstop tonight, but he had a 400 average in 2023 as a junior. A homer in each of his sophomore and junior campaigns, 331 career mark and a 430 career slugging percentage. And speaking of home runs, there's a fly ball to left, and it's gone! Devin Goldberg answers on opening day with a first pitch rocket to left, and it's 1-0 Bridgewater. We were just talking about the long ball, and he stomps on the plate, mobbed at home, and Goldberg, the leadoff man, with a swing of gold. It's 1-0.
Late switch for the visitors. Again inside their 5. Oh, they're going to pitch this one back for the flea flicker. Touchdown, West! Oh, my goodness! Taking inspiration from Nick Foles and Trey Burton. I think they just pulled off the Philly special. That is the greatest touchdown I have ever seen. Well, maybe not the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. Maybe that's stretching a little bit, but one of the greatest touchdowns we've seen in a long time. And it's a tie game. 2 minutes remaining. 4 fouls on St. Joe's. One more and it's a bonus, which would greatly help Gloucester Catholic. The moving green guard! It's a 1-point game just like that! This place is going nuts! And now a drive to the basket by Spross. He lays it up and lays it in! St. Joe's has 2 timeouts remaining. Gloucester Catholic still has 3. Here we go. Mascaro pulls up. He goes for 3! 6 points! Jack Mascaro has tied the game with 90 seconds remaining. How will the Wildcats respond with a miss of
Welcome back to Cinnamons High School. Got a good one. Camden Catholic up by 18 at the end of the half, 38-20. They led by 20 at one point late in the second quarter, but Jeff Weiler and Seneca needing some extra rebounds, some extra threes. They've certainly hit a lot of them today. Both of these teams like to hit it from downtown. But Camden Catholic out to a strong run in the first quarter. They haven't looked back from that. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite E of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, right off of Lambs Road. Just starting off in the third quarter, 38-20, Camden Catholic over Seneca. Two Olympic Conference foes who last played each other in February of 2022. Camden Catholic and Seneca, the last 5 times they've played, the Irish have won all 5 matchups. All 5 of them have been by 8 or more points. Up the floor for the Golden Eagles was number 2, Luke Rath. Now it's back to Cole Keating, who is right now the current leading scorer on this very young Seneca team. A lot of juniors, a handful of seniors, and last year's leading scorer, Kingston Williams, is fouled on his way up. This match is Camden Catholic's largest lead of the afternoon at 20, 40-20. First shot from Williams. No good. Of course, our producer today, David Cohen, is a recent graduate of Seneca and a freshman at Rowan University. So it was nice. It's nice seeing his alma mater get some representation. Like we said, this was the first time we've actually covered a Seneca game. I was surprised when I looked at it, and I was like, that can't be right. But I went through it, and turns out we were right. So, like we said, the only 2 schools left in the Olympic Conference we've never covered are Morristown and Winslow. Those are the only 2 we have left in the Olympic Conference. It's almost like the gemstones of South Jersey, you know. It's the bucket list of a South Jersey broadcaster, trying to figure out, you know, how many schools you need to cover. Like we said, we've covered 96 high schools after today in the state of New Jersey, and that doesn't count anybody from out of state. Air ball. That's rebounded by Kennevan, and a slam by Richmond. That's his second dunk of the day, bringing a frenzy here to the Cinnaminson gym. And a rebound by Weld. I mean, Richmond, obviously, that sophomore forward, creating a lot of buzz. As Kennevan moves inside, rattles out. Rebound by Rath. No, it almost got stolen away by Clark. Now Seneca hangs onto it. Actually, I should note we have 3 schools left in the Olympic, Pensauk and Tech as well. That hit the top of the backboard. I thought it hit one of the wires on the top, but they decided to keep the ball in play, and Richmond gets a very easy layup. There's still a handful of schools in the BCSL that we've never covered. Doane Academy, Morristown Friends. Actually, I don't know if this is a permanent move, but Pensauk and Tech is now in the BCSL, so maybe they moved out of the Olympic Conference. I don't know. Because I remember for the longest time they were in the Olympic, but maybe they moved out? That's a high pass to Rath. Passes it inside. Williams from the charity stripe. No good. Rebound by Big. Feeds it in the lane again. Contact. No shot, no foul, and it's out of bounds. This broadcast is brought to you by Vincent's Lawn Care. As we enter the cold and brisk winter months, you want to plan ahead to the spring and summer and get your lawn taken care of. Weekly, bi-weekly, or whenever, call Vincent Vogt, the executive producer of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, at 609-413-0403. But yeah, as far as conferences are concerned, we've covered every school in the Colonial, obviously, because I'm a grad of Audubon. So when we covered Audubon games basically exclusively for about a year and a half, we got to see everybody out there multiple times. Kennevan driving this one hard up the floor, passes it to the big man Weld, fouled and one. He'll get a bonus shot there. So the Colonial Conference is done. The Olympic Conference has 2 schools left. The BCSL has the most schools left that we have not yet covered. Haven't counted them all yet, and probably the Cape Atlantic as well. And for the Tri-County Conference, the ones that we haven't covered are Wildwood, Salem Tech. Is that it? Yeah, it is. And Williamstown. So it's Salem Tech, Wildwood, and Williamstown, the teams that we haven't covered yet in the Tri-County. So there's 3 left there. That one is tipped up, goes in a couple times. And it's 49-25. Camden Catholic again extending their lead, which is still the largest of the afternoon. And the largest that any team has held in this gym across the 2 games today. Williams in trouble, feeds it out into the corner for, no, not for 3. It does not go. Kennevan driving in the lane. He's got it. And Coach Weiler calls a timeout. Camden Catholic crosses the 50-point mark as Seneca takes a break, and so will we. 3:40 left in the third. 51-25, a 26-point lead for the Irish. Yeah, go ahead. 51-25, Camden Catholic with a dominant 26-point lead. By the way, for anyone that's curious, I looked at the Cape Atlantic Conference. We said we're done with the Colonial. We have 3 teams left in the Tri-County, 2 in the Olympic. As a 3-ball from Williams, too long. The teams that we have left in the Cape Atlantic League are Ocean City, Middle Township, Wildwood Catholic, Millville, Hamilton, let's see here, Vineland, Absegami, Pleasantville, Cape May Tech, and Oakcrest. So we still, I didn't count the exact number, but I think we have 7 or 8 left in the Cape Atlantic, which isn't all that surprising. The Cape Atlantic Network does have their own live streaming service, the Cal Network, which does an excellent job of covering games in that region of the Jersey Shore. Props to them, along with BFA Sports down there in Cumberland County. Kennevan pulls up from 3, and he's got it. Nearing the 30-point mark for the Camden Catholic Irish as they lead by 29 with 3 minutes left in the third. Feeds it out into the corner for 3, and it goes. As the 3-ball falls for Sauerwald, and Camden Catholic will get a free inbound here. Kennevan again passes across the floor to Mel Jones. Kennevan from three, no good. And a foul gets called as Ryan Gersick number 11, Mercado, goes scrambling for the ball. In the game for Camden Catholic is number 50, Zach Winkler, as Richmond goes to the bench. 2 fouls each here in the dwindling minutes of the third quarter. All Camden Catholic here, 54-28. 3-ball rattles out off the front of the rim. Clark tried to keep it in to no avail. That ball gets knocked out again. Sauerwald moves in from the top of the key. Clark off the right hand keeps it in. Kennevan falls down. And after we had some players on the ground like fish out of water, we now end up having a Seneca ball. Sauerwald has it, passes it out. Inside for Sauerwald, and he's got an and one. Fed it inside, and Seneca reaches the 30-point mark here. (54-30). The and one shot is nothing but net. Moving that one out, ball gets away from Weld. It goes to the backcourt for Kennevan, and they'll turn it over. Pretty equal representation between Camden Catholic and Seneca fans here. I'm pretty sure that, with Seneca being in Tabernacle, you're kind of in woods country there, but then Camden Catholic is only about 15 minutes from Cinnamons. In fact, we actually passed by Camden Catholic, or I did at least, on my way to the stadium today. So on a bright and early foggy morning. Big and Richmond, 2 starters originally, now getting ready to recheck back in. Clark, flailing shot from the elbow, no good. Back out to Kennevan. He is wide open but does not take the shot, as the lead, which was once 29, has now been cut to 21. And Matt Crawford commanding some directions there. Big will take the inbound now that he is re-entered into the game. Don't forget, on Monday, December 30th, we close the new year with a DWB triple header. We've got Shalleck and Gloucester at 11:30 a.m. Oh, Kennevan had some trouble there. 11:30 a.m. between Shalleck and Gloucester. And then 4 o'clock in the consolation game of the Pittman Holiday Classic, as there's a 3 knocked down. And it's 56-33. Moving inside, off the left hand, it rattles out. Tough break for Elijah Monroe Martin. With 40 seconds left, moving inside for Weld. An efficient movement to the basket makes it 58-33. Feeds it out again, pump fake, 3-ball, too long, and they're saying that it hit the wire on top of the backboard. Heaving it down the floor. Look at Weld moving in fast. Rolls out. Weld is down. He gets back up. And somehow, after all of that, the Irish hang on to the possession with Big. It was originally Mel Jones after the pass from Weld. Now into the corner. Another Seneca player down. That was Sauerwald. Now 2 seconds left. Heaves it. Doesn't get it. And I will say a valiant effort there, as you could see. That was Sauerwald who tried to heave it behind his head. And after a very contentious end to the third quarter, we enter the final frame of the Sentiments and Holiday Classic. 58-33, Camden Catholic over Seneca. We'll be right back. All right, go ahead. Never mind, we're back. 58-33. Camden Catholic over Seneca. Into the corner for Luke Kennevan. From the elbow, no good for Richmond. And a foul to start the quarter. Big night for Sean Weld. He goes to the line. If he makes both, he'll bring Camden Catholic to the 60-point mark. He's at 59. As we said, Sean Weld, Division I FCS football commit to Villanova to play tight end, the Wildcats. Bricks it off the front of the rim. Second free throw is no good. As Seneca wasting no time on this possession to start the fourth quarter. Back out to Dylan Wilkins, now into the corner for three, rattles out. Rebound by Kennevan. As we said, he had over 200 rebounds last year, heaving it down the floor, and Richmond has it again. Feels like a play I run in NBA 2K a lot, where I just kind of heave it down the floor and hope there's a center down there to grab it. That'll be a kickball violation. Threw it off of the leg of a Camden Catholic player. Kennevan has it. (63-33). Camden Catholic up by 30. Foul and one. Nate Sauerwald has had a couple of those lucky stars tonight, as he will make a trip to the charity stripe. Checking in for Camden Catholic is number 2, Dan Leahy. You can see he's got the knee brace on his, or I should say a leg brace on his left leg. The and one shot is successful, and after that we have more subs coming in. Sauerwald checks out, and coming back in will be Kingston Williams. Again, last year's leading scorer for the 8-18 Golden Eagles. 6:49 left in the fourth. Heavy guarding with Williams on Bryce Clark. I'm sorry, no, that's number 5. Elijah Monroe Martin feeds it out. Leahy, 3, too long. Rebound by Phillips. Williams to Phillips. Back to Gavin Tallant. And Clark with his speed. On the gridiron and on the hardwood. Same with Weld there. We've got a scramble. Weld fouled and one. A mano-a-mano right there between the two. And this now once again brings Sean Weld back to the line. Seneca, after today, will be home for back-to-back games after the new year. They play Eastern on January 2nd at 6 o'clock. And they will also be at home versus Lawrence at 11:30. They then continue deeper into the month of January with 2 road games, Shawnee and Lenape, after a week off. They take an entire week off from January 7th to the 14th. And then they have a really, really strong run in late January, playing 5 games in 7 days. After the rebound by Winkler, he passes it back out to Leahy, who, as we said, has that leg brace on his left leg. The junior guard crosses over from the elbow, too short. Winkler almost had the rebound, but it goes back to Williams. Williams spins to his right. They're going to call a jump ball. Leahy only 4 points in his high school career, 6 boards. Checking in for Camden Catholic is going to be number 23, Chase Langer. This is going to be inbounded by Mercado. It goes back to Rath. A 2-on-2 here, quite literally. 2 versus 2. Leahy versus Rath. From the volleyball line, goes back to Phillips. Phillips steps with the right foot. And it is immediately taken away by Winkler. Feeding it down the floor to Langer. Rolls in off the window. 67-36. And for Camden Catholic, they're 4-0, most likely going to go to 5-0 after this. They don't play their first home game until January 7th. I mean, that's the latest I've ever seen a team start their season at home. That 3 rattles in for Mercado. But for the Irish, they're away at Morristown after the new year on the 3rd. Then they are home versus Camden. And then they are away at Bishop Eustace and Woodstown, home to Winslow, and away versus Morris Tech and Medford Catholic. Oh, he missed the layup. Mercado missed the wide-open layup. Clark, motion to Leahy. The funny thing is that in February, Camden Catholic is playing 7 games. 6 of them are at home. They're away at Paul Sixth on February 13th, but they're home versus Hightstown, Kingsway, Bishop Eustace, Washington Township, Notre Dame, and Lenape to close out the season on February 22nd. Here comes a nice drive. Oh, I thought Williams was going to throw it down for a second. He did not. We've got another foul. And it's kind of a messy back and forth scenario there. Brings Mercado to the stripe, looking for redemption after a missed layup a couple of possessions ago. Camden Catholic leading by 39, 69-39. Again, this will be the first loss this year for Seneca by more than a possession. We said it before, and I'll say it again at the beginning of the game. Seneca lost twice this year to Bishop Eustace, which is a very, very respectable team. They're respectable enough to where they beat Camden. They lost to them by 1 point, and then they played Barnegat on the road in Barnegat. Second shot rattles in, but they played them on the road and lost by 1. So this is definitely a departure from what we've seen just out of the normal ebbs and flows of a season so far. Under 4 minutes to play in this Sentiments and Holiday Classic finale. I don't have any scores, although I could look them up, for Bishop Eustace and Washington Township. Remember, Sentiments, and this is a relatively new gym for them. They are playing 4 games today. 2 games here in the new gym, and then 2 games in what is called the old gym. Bishop Eustace and Washington Township was the first game, and then the second was slated to be Princeton Day and Hamilton. Of course, Camden Catholic played Haddon Heights, won by 23 yesterday. Pumps this one out. It's in the lane, and we got another foul from the backside. Seneca now the 3rd team foul that they've charged against the Irish. Dan Wilkins Broadcasting rings in the new year in the Olympic Conference with a matchup between the Bishop Eustace Crusaders and the Cherokee Chiefs on January 2nd at 6 o'clock from Cherokee High School. We also have a cross-conference matchup between the Colonial and BCSL, between the Collingswood Panthers and the Pennsauken Indians at 11 a.m. on January 4th. Another foul. What did we say in the first game? I mean, this is the third straight game. I really can't believe this. This is the third straight game where no team has acquired a bonus until the fourth quarter of the game. That's pretty shocking to me, to say the least. Just because it seems like they have had the mentality of let the boys play. Clark from the elbow, rather Leahy from the elbow, does not fall. Goes back to Williams. He'll take this one himself. Pulls up, fakes the three. Now it goes to Rath. Now it goes back to Williams, and it rolls out. Rebound by Seneca, by Tallant. And before they can get anything, Seneca calls a timeout. Coach Weiler calls a timeout as his team is down by 31. It is Camden Catholic 72, Seneca 41, with 2:48 left to play. We'll be right back. Welcome to home of the Pirates. Thanks to Brian Wilkinson for having us out on this Saturday morning. We just actually crossed noon. It's 12:10. So Seneca trailing Camden Catholic by 31. Tallant inside, lost it to Winkler. And another turnover for the Golden Eagles. Camden Catholic was struggling with turnovers in the first quarter. Obviously, considering the scoreboard on the bottom of your screen, they seem to have figured it out. Seneca ball. We do have two new subs coming in. Dylan Wilkins, who we've seen a handful of tonight. Again, no relation that I know of. It's not like Wilkins is a common last name like Smith or Jones. So I do like to ask sometimes, because my dad's side of the family is relatively big, and you never know. We do have a lot of Jersey connections down here. Three ball from Golick. Got it. And they stop the clock so there can be a sub coming in on the inbound. Subbing out is number 5, Mel Jones, with 2 minutes, 12 seconds to play in the fourth. 72-44. There's a three. No good there. Off the mark. L.J. Hagan, number 0 for Seneca, has the ball. Pass to Wilkins. From the charity stripe back to Hagan. Hagan back at the free-throw line. Now it's Wilkins again. This goes to Monroe Martin, who lays it up with the right hand. A nice shot there. Closes the gap to 72-46 in the final 90 seconds here from Cinnamon. Nice feed, but Winkler could not finish. And Seneca's bringing this back the other way. Wilkins, bounce pass, intercepted by Camden Catholic, and drives it in for Chase Langier. Now in the final minute of play, feeding it out to Golick. Senior guard now back to Tallant. Wilkins off the right hand, rattles out. Two Irish going for the same real estate. And Camden Catholic, were they calling a timeout? Or, yeah, it looks like they are. Or no, I thought they were. Never mind. I got the wrong signals there. No timeout there, but 46.4 seconds left, 74-46. Handful of younger gentlemen checking into the game for Camden Catholic. Bryce Hillman on the floor. Charlie Neal, the senior, number 34, is also on the floor for Camden Catholic. We do not have the gentleman's name. Also number 14, who we do not have the name of either. Under 30 seconds to play. Bryce Hillman has this one. Passes it to number 20. and it rattles in. Again, apologies. I think these are mostly junior varsity players. We do not have their names, but 15 seconds left. That three is too long from Golick. And Camden Catholic will let this one roll. A dominant win in Cinnaminson as they sweep the Cinnaminson Holiday Classic with authority. 23 points over Haddon Heights and even 30 over Seneca. 76-46 is the final as the Pirates, as the host, play host to the Camden Catholic Irish, who probably were the best team out of that tournament, out of the holiday showcase. I mean, what a night for Camden Catholic. Obviously, what a weekend for them as well. Playing yesterday, playing very well over Haddon Heights, and then a dominant 30-point win over Seneca. Seneca falls to 2-3. Their next game will be after the New Year versus Eastern on January 2nd. And then for Camden Catholic, they improved to 5-0 and 2-0 in the Olympic Conference. They are away to Morristown on January 3rd. Don't forget, our next broadcast will be on December 30th as we close out the new year with a triple header. At 11:30 a.m., it's Shalleck and Gloucester in an out-of-conference matchup between Salem County and Camden County. And then at 4 o'clock, it's the Pittman Holiday Consolation between Caravel of Delaware and the Paulsboro Red Raiders. We close out the new year with Triton and Pittman at 6 o'clock on Monday, the 30th. From our entire crew here at DWB, our social media coordinators, Brandon DeKegerland and Anthony DePalma. Our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rail, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan. Our producer, Seneca grad himself, David Cohen. Sorry it didn't turn out the way you wanted, David, but from our entire crew, we hope if you don't watch us for the rest of the year, have a very Merry Christmas and a New Year. May everything be prosperous in the year 2025, but if we do see you Monday, we'll see you next time, folks. Have a good one, and stay dry out there. Should be pretty rainy outside here in Burlington County. Have a good one, folks.